up, guys? This is your girl Bernicia. Welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new here, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. While you're at it, hit the notification bell so you guys know when I drop a new video or a new post. Please and thank you. Alright, so Baddie's East. So I haven't been on here for a couple of weeks to do a Baddie's East recap. So I got quite a bit of catching up to do. I finished the last episode this morning, and boy, there's a lot to get into, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and start with Scotty and Natalie, okay? So, what's up, guys? This is your girl Bernicia. Welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new here, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. While you're at it, hit the notification bell so you guys know when I drop a new video or a new post. Please and thank you. Alright, so Baddie's East. So I haven't been on here for a couple of weeks to do a Baddie's East recap. So I got quite a bit of catching up to do. I finished the last episode this morning, and boy, there's a lot to get into, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and start with Scotty and Natalie, okay? So Scotty and Natalie got into this big fight, and I kind of been waiting all season to see them, to see what transpired to get them to fighting again, because if you guys remember last season, Scotty said that she wasn't going to take any more shit from Natalie, okay? That Natalie was not going to be able to just put her hands on her, okay? So I thought that this season we wasn't going to see that, okay? But unfortunately, a tiger don't change their stripes, okay? So, anywho, all the girls at the restaurant, they went out to a restaurant because Smiley ass had a medical episode. So the girls really didn't get to do anything that they had planned to do for the day. And ultimately, they ended up at this restaurant, okay? I don't know if it was because it was so many of them. I don't know why it took so long for the food to come out, but it took a while for the food to start coming out. And anywho, the first person who got served was Scotty. The other girls were still waiting on their food, and Scotty ordered something else, and her food came out again. So for some reason, Scotty was being served, but the other girls weren't. This pissed Natalie off, so them two get into it, okay? Now, Zeus blacked out the screen, so when they came to, Natalie and Scotty was already arguing at that point, but per Natalie, Scotty is entitled, okay? She's entitled, and Natalie is sick of it. Now, I don't know, since when a bitch getting their food first, getting served first at a restaurant makes them entitled, because you can't pick and choose how the servers bring out your food. So, I mean, the fact that Scotty's order came in first, I don't understand how that makes her entitled. But of course, it's a lot of with this show this season, it seemed like all the good shit is happening behind the scene. It's not happening on screen, which pisses me off about Zeus. All the good shit is what they're leaving out. But that's neither here nor there. Natalie gets all up in this girl's face, starts screaming like a belligerent wild animal.
For 15 years! Line her up.
Last time. So the fact that you sitting up here, go ahead, Natalie. Do what you want to do, Natalie. And letting this bitch just do you like that, you know, it's just sad. It's just sad to watch, okay? Not to mention the fact that Scotty is allegedly fucking with Lamel, who's the CEO. Bitch, if I'm fucking your boss, you're not for to tell me what the fuck to do, okay? You know what I'm saying? So I feel like if it was me, I just wouldn't do that. I just wouldn't deal with that, okay? It's just to show you people will do anything to keep some type of notoriety or some type of fame. Because a lot of shit that this girl put up with when it comes to Natalie, it's not worth it. Like, what kind of fucking best friend perks do you actually get to allow somebody to treat you like that? You know? So them two go to squabbling. They break them two up. And then, unfortunately for Smiley, She gets out she makes a miraculous recovery at the hospital and kind of walks into a line of fire. So let me go ahead and get into her real quick. Now, this episode was probably the first time this entire season that I actually felt sorry for Smiley. Like, realistically, this girl has, you know, she's been the target of, everybody's, you know, she's been despicable the whole show. Okay, nobody really liked her or fuck with her the whole season, and a lot of that has been self-induced. All right, a lot of the animosity that she got from the other girls, it's really like she put herself in those kind of situations. I think it's just the attention seeking factor of everything. So you had the whole thing when she came in, she was, beefing with Mariah, and it was the whole chain snatch situation. And then, she ended up getting tag teamed by the girls, and they like took the chain back from her. And then it became a whole situation with her miscarriage. Everybody believed that she was lying about that. And then, now we get to the whole seizure that she had last episode, and everybody's just like, at this point, nobody gives a fuck, and that's just the reality of the situation. Hell, they had more tears for Rollie, who was sitting outside, crying, talking about, her dad died from seizures. But if I'm not mistaken, I think Rollie said her dad died in 3 different type of ways. But hell, that's neither here nor there. I'm like, God damn, how many damn times your dad died? Because shit, he had like 3 different phenomenal deaths according to you. But the latest one is seizure. Child, it's just a whole bunch of attention seeking shit been going on as far as Smiley concerned. Hell, as far as all the girls is concerned, really. But Smiley kind of walked into the situation, and the heat wasn't really for her. The heat was, Natalie was already mad with Scotty and that whole situation, and Smiley just pop up, and then it then it turned into a thing where everybody was like on Smiley's ass once again. Like, so Tashiki wanted to originally she was saying like she was gonna slap the shit out of Smiley, but I guess being that she was already being yelled at by Natalie, and she was sitting up there looking fucking stupid, Tashiki was just like, you know what, it's not a waste, it's a waste of my energy to just even say anything to her, like even like go there with her or whatever. And so E.T. brings her dumb ass over there and pours a bottle of water all across Smiley's head. Now that shit nobody asked her for, okay? No fucking body asked her for that. But so yeah, like at this point I feel bad for Smiley, because realistically, regardless to whether or not they believed her as far as having the seizure, whether or not they believe that she faked it, it is a serious situation, okay? And they should have showed some more compassion than what they showed, especially since the girl just had came from the hospital. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't have fucked with her. Leave the girl fucking be. Like, if attention is what y'all feel like she's trying to get, then don't give it to her. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of that singling her out, that's what's making her the star of the show, because everybody's fucking singling her out. Okay? So then they confronting Smiley, and so this pissed Suki off. And let me rewind it a little bit for you guys. So Suki and Bobby wasn't around. Suki wasn't around when Smiley had her seizure, right? So when she finally arrives to the scene or whatever, her and Bobby pulls up, and Natalie pretty much explains what had went down with Smiley. But mind you, as she's telling Suki this, she's saying like, the girls that stay in the house with her, they're not being as compassionate because, they don't really believe that she really had a seizure, such and such, such and such. But, mind you, Suki already had like concern for Smiley because of the whole situation, right? And so now, skip to the current scene, Smiley's walking in, and she's being verbally attacked by everybody, and then E.T. comes and throw water on her head. It's just like, from Suki's perspective, it's just like, this girl just got out of the hospital. Why is y'all fucking with her? You know what I'm saying? So Suki takes off and she starts going off on Natalie and E.T. And so at which point, that's when Rollie kind of like jumped up and was like, now Suki and Rollie is into it. And child, it's a whole fucking mess. So first of all, Suki's going off on E.T., of course, about like, you know what I'm saying? Like her pouring water on Smiley. You know, she just weird behavior, right? So then as she's going off on Snook's E.T., that's when Rollie jumps up like, hey, my friend. At that very point, that's when Sapphire should have jumped in the middle and fucking did something. Shit, bitch should have jumped in the middle.
Oh, hell no! Let me show y'all bitches something. I will tear this shit up. I swear to God.
Weird behavior, right? So then, as she's going off on Snook's E.T., that's when Rollie jumps up like, hey, my friend. At that very point, that's when Sapphire should have jumped in the middle and fucking did something. Shit, bitch, hit E.T., hit Rollie, do something. Like, you know what I'm saying? You sitting up there letting your friend get tag teamed by two bitches. Now, don't get me wrong. E.T. didn't put hands on Suki, but she threw water on her. And she was talking shit. Either way, Sapphire should have said something. I didn't even hear Sapphire defend her like verbally. Like it was at one point where Rollie and Suki, when they broke them up, they were going back and forth yelling insults at each other. And Suki, I'm not gonna lie, Suki roasted the shit out of Rollie ass. She was like, bitch, you that's how you got STDs, the pussy, da 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 da. They were talking about each other pussy, talking about each other's kids, child. Suki was saying that Rollie can't fight for 15 seconds. She got love handles. to my nigga, to my her pores was leaking cognac. I mean, like, she was roasting the shit out of Rollie ass. It was funny, but at the same time, I'm like, still like waiting on Sapphire to like intervene. Like, bitch, when, at what point is you gonna say something to defend your friend, right? So after everything was said and done, Suki felt some kind of way. She was like, I'm not fucking with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, get your ass out my face or whatever. So Sapphire continued to follow her around, trying to explain, you know what I'm saying? At one point, she went to yelling in Suki's face. I was like, bitch, why is you yelling at Suki? Like, how you gonna be more mad at Suki for the shit that you just pulled? You know what I'm saying? But ultimately, Suki agreed to have a sit down with Sapphire and, you know, allow Sapphire to say her piece about whatever whoop de woo. And at first she was like, well, you don't owe me an apology if you don't feel like you did anything wrong or whatever. You feel like you defended me, then you don't owe me an apology. So Sapphire was basically like, well, you know, she admitted that she had started to build a relationship with the girls, you know, being around them. So she had started to build a relationship. So she allowed her emotions to like prevent her from defending Suki, because it's like she didn't want to, like, I guess, get into it with the other girls or whatever, whoop the woo. But ultimately, at the end of the day, and while I respect Sapphire for keeping it 100 about, like, you know what I'm saying, speaking the obvious, what we already know, but I respect her for being 100 about it and acknowledging that she was flawed for what she did. Already know, but I respect her for being 100 about it and acknowledging that she was flawed for what she did. I will say this, regardless, you got to stick to the evil you don't know. I mean, the evil you know, because those people, those girls, while she's building a relationship with them, she don't know them. And the fact that she didn't side with her real friend, somebody who she knows in real life, somebody who she knows has her back, because she wanted to, like, you know, please these girls. She didn't want to get into it with these girls. Ultimately, those bitches is like, that whole house that she's in, house A, they're like a pool of fucking piranhas, okay? Except these piranhas eat each other. They don't eat other fishes. They eat fucking each other. So she don't been there long enough to see how them girls will pick a bitch and single a bitch out. Like, they're nothing but fucking bullies. So in what world do you feel like you would, you know what I'm saying? What world is it okay to not defend your best friends against these bitches? Okay, like, I don't know. I won't say I won't know what it is. I know what it is, because Sapphire Suki already said the only reason she was guest appearing on the show is so that Sapphire can secure her a spot on the show. And Suki has always been trying to help Sapphire, okay? If you guys remember on Love and Hip Hop, if any of you guys watch Love and Hip Hop, Suki was supposed to have a grand opening for her store. And Sapphire was the same chick that was stealing shit out of Suki's store. So, with that being said, she has already proven before that she's not a loyal, trustworthy friend. A loyal, trustworthy friend would have your back. A loyal, trustworthy friend wouldn't steal from you. But these are things that Sapphire has done to her. So, I don't know if it was just like for publicity. I mean, not publicity. Was it like a storyline on Love and Hip Hop? Like, was, Sapphire real deal? Did she real deal steal from Suki or whatever with the whoop? But this situation right here seems real. It seems that Suki was genuinely hurt and embarrassed that her friend left her hanging like that. Her friend that she done rode for plenty of times before would handle her like that. So ultimately, it was sad to watch, being that everybody's fucking falling out. Like, you got Natalie and Scotty. Nobody gives a fuck about them because they're always fighting. And they have a fucked up relationship anyway, so nobody gives a fuck. It's just like when Whitney and Bobby break up and put each other in jail, like, or Blueface and Krishan fight and shit. People don't give a fuck. Like, it's like interesting entertainment for the moment, but then they don't give a fuck because they already know what time it is. So that's the type of situation that Natalie and Scotty have. Like, nobody really cares. But when it comes to Suki and Sapphire, these two females are real life friends. So it does suck that, to let the ops kind of like separate y'all. That's what they say. They say this reality TV shit is poisonous. It's poisonous to any real relationship. If there's cracks in any relationship that you have and you bring that shit to reality TV, trust and believe those cracks will be blown apart. Like, those cracks will be made to be worse. Okay. But yeah, ultimately, I hope these two girls find a way to make it up. I hear that Sapphire is supposed to be redeeming herself on at the reunion. She whooped ET ass, according to Suki. I'm not really sure. We will see. But what I do know is that she's going to get into it with Mariah next episode. So we'll see how that plays out. But I'm just like saying, like, bitch, really, you going to get into it with Mariah, but you wouldn't stand up to ET or Rollie? But hey, that's neither here nor there.
I'm always gonna tell the truth. You feel me? That's one thing I'm gonna do. Scarface just got her ass beat, okay? Sapphire fucked her up. You was supposed to. She did what she was supposed to. Because I ain't gonna lie, I hurt my feelings when that happened. Cause, like, why did you...
I was excited. I was like, ooh, this is entertaining. Because I love me some drama all the time. So definitely I was tuned in.
I want to talk about this conversation scene where it was Natalie, Rollie, Mariah Lynn, Sapphire, and E.T. like joined them some point in the conversation. All right, so they were talking about, Smiley, and I found that interesting. Okay, so they talked about Smiley's situation, and then, Mariah mentioned the fact that Smiley rejected, she was basically rejecting medical care, saying that she didn't want an IV, and, she was rushing them to release her from the hospital and everything else. And, for me, that kind of, reaffirms my suspicion that Smiley really she wasn't in a medical, she wasn't having a medical emergency. You know what I'm saying? Regardless to whether or not, she was faking it. Like, what person in their right mind would reject help when you clearly had a serious situation happen to you? Okay? Because when a person has a seizure, it's serious, because they could die. They could literally die having a seizure. Okay? There's complications that could come about that can cause that person to literally croak over. Okay? So the fact that Smiley didn't want any medical attention You know what I'm saying? And even the bits that we saw on the last episode or whatever, when she was coming to, and she was like, I'm ready to go home and I'm ready to get out of She didn't seem as concerned for her health, okay? To wake up and be like, oh, did I get beat up? And then to just go back to like not giving a fuck that you're in the hospital, saying that you didn't want to be there. She didn't seem particularly concerned about her health. Okay. So that's that. Also, so they started talking about Scotty and Natalie Nunn, little whatever, whoop to whoop, because Natalie was like, I'm sorry if you guys didn't enjoy yourself. Basically, because she showed her ass. She's the one that started all that negative energy at the restaurant anyway. So Mariah Lynn chimes in and says, she starts to talk about, Scotty or whatever. And she was like, that's why, Suki looked at me and was like, you're weird. Where's your loyalty at? And et cetera, et cetera. So that's at that point, Rollie basically checked her. She was like, you stay out of it. Whatever goes on between Scotty and Natalie, that's their business. And besides, Scotty never did anything to you. So why would you talk bad about her? You know what I'm saying? So this right here put a bad taste. When Rollie said that, it put a bad taste in Mariah Lynn's mouth, obviously, because bitch, you deserve to be checked. Like, you sitting up here trying to bandwagon with Natalie and kiss ass to Natalie, like throwing Scotty under the bus, regardless to whatever Scotty and Natalie go through. Ultimately, them two gonna be back friends. This is not the first time that they have fought, and they have gotten into it before. And so whatever weird relationship, Christian Blueface type relationship that they got going on, that's between them, okay? So the fact that you know that you don't have an issue with Scotty, but yet you got some slick ass shit to say because you're sitting here with Natalie, it makes you fake, okay? So, these so-called baddies don't want to be portrayed as fake, okay? That's like a pet peeve for these hoes, even though in all actuality most of them is fake. So, right, wrong, and indifferent, Rollie checked her, and I'm like, that's one of the things that I liked about Rollie, is that she will call some shit out when she feels away, okay? So I'm with her on that. Also, it was interesting to learn that sorry y'all. Whatever. So they go, so also, she was like, what else I found interesting was that, okay, so I agree with the part about her and checking Mariah Lynn, but it was when she was like, Sapphire had Suki's back the entire time. I disagree with that 100%. First of all, Sapphire did not have Suki's back, okay?
Be careful with bitches like this. Be careful with bitches like this. Ain't that your friend? Ain't that your friend? Ain't that your friend?
I know, listen to me.
Ain't that your friend?
Practicing defending my bestie.
Bitch, don't say shit to my friend! Fuck out of here. Was it you? Bitch, get the fuck. Bessie told me that you disrespected her, and I just want to know if that's true or not. Bitch, the fuck do I even give a bitch? So my bestie told me that you wanted to fight her, so what's up? Yeah, she said you wanted to fight her, so she sent me. Bitch!
It put a bad taste in Mariah Lynn's mouth, obviously, because bitch, you deserve to be checked. Like, you sitting up here trying to bandwagon with Natalie and kiss ass to Natalie, like throwing Scotty under the bus, regardless to whatever Scotty and Natalie go through. Ultimately, them two gonna be back friends. This is not the first time that they have fought, and they have gotten into it before. And so whatever weird relationship, Christian Blueface type relationship that they got going on, that's between them, okay? So the fact that you know that you don't have an issue with Scotty, but yet you got some slick ass shit to say because you're sitting here with Natalie, it makes you fake, okay? So, these so-called baddies don't want to be portrayed as fake, okay? That's like a pet peeve for these hoes, even though in all actuality most of them is fake. So, right, wrong, and indifferent, Rollie checked her, and I'm like, that's one of the things that I liked about Rollie, is that she will call some shit out when she feels away, okay? So I'm with her on that. Also, it was interesting to learn that sorry y'all. Whatever. So they go, so also, she was like, what else I found interesting was that, okay, so I agree with the part about her and checking Mariah Lynn, but it was when she was like Sapphire had Suki's back the entire time. I disagree with that 100%. First of all, Sapphire did not have Suki's back, okay, while she was there, obviously, and when she wasn't there, okay, because Sapphire spent a lot of time with these hoes, like, you know what I'm saying? I get this to show she's bumped with these girls. Of course, you're gonna build some type of, camaraderie, or you might start to like them, and stuff like that. But you don't really know these girls, okay, and you only been around them a short time. Okay, of course, you're gonna see a different side. They're gonna be a certain kind of way towards you because they don't know you like that. You know what I'm saying? But for her to sit around them when they're speaking on Suki, like there was one scene like a couple of episodes ago. I talked about that on my last recap. I didn't like the fact that Sapphire sat right there and allowed her friends to tell her about Suki. Like, I don't give a fuck what y'all issue is with my friend. If she's not here to defend herself, okay, there's no reason why I would sit here and let y'all just be talking and saying little sideways shit about her. Like, bitch, I know her better than y'all, okay? I know where she was coming from. And whether I agree or not, I don't want to hear no shit about her when she's not here from y'all. You know what I'm saying? I feel like if she would have checked them from the gate, we wouldn't have gotten to this situation. Because it's like the way that E.T. and Rollie, like, you know what I'm saying, kind of like tag team Suki, it's like they didn't give a fuck or feel threatened or felt the need to look out for Sapphire at all. So in all actuality, these hoes don't even respect you. Like, you ain't standing by your friend and having your friends back 10 toes. They're not even respecting you. And it's even more embarrassing the fact that them two bitches are sticking together. What you and Suki should have been doing. Exactly what Suki said. It's embarrassing. You stand right there, you don't say a motherfuck thing, and you don't defend her. Like like when they was talking about it, she was gonna say, "Oh, I tried to tell Suki that's some bitch ass punk ass shit." No, I'd have been like, "Okay, so what? So what?" I mean, honestly, quite frankly, I don't really care how you feel about the situation. That's my friend. Ain't no need to talk about it if she ain't here. Next subject. Simple. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could have nipped that shit in the bud, but like I said, there's no respect to be had. Like, there's two things that motherfuckers do not want to be looked out as. Like, a bitch don't want to be seen as. You know what I'm saying? It's the two things that is very important that a motherfucker don't want to be seen as. And that's a pedophile and a punk ass bitch. Or a snitch. Hell, either one of those things don't fit well. Alright, so that's that. And also, I caught Sapphire. I caught that part where Sapphire asked Natalie about whether or not she will fuck with Scotty or whatever whoop the whoop, and Natalie was like she don't know about that. That's because that's the most honest thing I've heard her say regarding Scotty. She don't know. And as far as I'm concerned, well, really I'm not concerned. So technically I don't give a fuck. Friends or not, I just think Scotty just need to step outside the box of Natalie, okay? Speaking of them two, we're gonna go ahead and move on to my next subject, which was the whole showdown between Natalie and Scotty. Okay, so basically, after Sapphire and Suki had their little sit down and they ended up hugging it out, not saying that everything's all gravy between them two, but when Sapphire and Suki had their little sit down and makeup or whatever, whoop de whoop, Natalie felt the need to have a sit down with Scotty. So Scotty comes to her room, and when she comes to her room, homegirl already like on beast mode. She got her hair pulled back, she got her shoes off, like, you know what I'm saying? She's like, "What's up?" You know what I'm saying? So Natalie immediately get on the defense, smart, and she's like, "You're just so entitled, this, that, and the third," going on and on, talk about, everybody's been saying the same thing about you, could you bringing your dog, and it was 99 different things. Well, they didn't really get into the dog, they didn't get into that other shit, but she was basically like, just saying all these stupid ass dumb reasons. In all actuality, no reason that she gave justified her behavior towards Scotty. But we know what it is, and I'm pretty sure Scotty do too at this point. You know what I'm saying? If she don't, she just don't give a. If she do, she just don't give a fuck, right? Because here's the thing, I feel like Natalie is low key jealous of Scotty. For real, I really feel like she low key jealous of Scotty. Obviously, aesthetically, Scotty looks better than her. Now, while Natalie may have more money and more success or whatever, what to have it, some people like that, they need to keep people underneath them to make them feel bigger. Okay? And I feel like that's what Natalie uses Scotty for. I feel like she's jealous of her. She's jealous of her. But she also knows that Scotty's personality allows for her to use her in any kind of way. Like, I've actually seen bitches like that take somebody under their wing, you know what I'm saying, just so that you can try to play them out and just make yourself be bigger. Y'all know hoes do trifling shit. I ain't even gotta elaborate. Hoes do trifling shit. And that's what Natalie does to Scotty. That's what impression I get from the dynamic of their relationship. And another thing, I feel like while Natalie was throwing that entitlement shit around, saying that Scotty's entitled, this, that, and the third, she feels like at this point, she know that Scotty really don't need her, because there may have been one point that Scotty needed her in order to be around people like Lenny. You know what I'm saying? Be around niggas that got money or whatever, whoop de whoop. But at this point, Scotty has a situation, allegedly, with Lenny. And I mean, if I didn't believe it before, I obviously believe it now, because hell, Lenny was there, and Lenny was the one that broke him up. Matter of fact, that's probably why Scotty popped off, because she didn't want to be beat up in front of her man or tried in front of her man. Okay, so that's that. Thunder Girl released a lot of tea, but that's neither here nor there. So she knows that Scotty really don't need her. You know what I'm saying? She don't need her now. If Scotty play her cards right, she could get her butt out the duck. But that's neither here nor there. Okay? So when you know that a bitch, you can't control a motherfucker that you used to stepping on like that all the time, this is what the reaction that you get. Okay? That's why she's saying that, you know, Scotty's smelling herself. And not only that, she goes to throwing it up to Scotty, talking about what other girls have been saying and complaining about. First of all, Natalie, as a executive producer, that sounds like a you problem. That sounds like a personal fucking problem. I don't give a fuck because these motherfuckers complaining to you. That's part of your job. You get paid to deal with that type of shit. Okay, this is a side perk, a side effect of your job and all this money and private jets and shit that you want. This is some of the headache that you got to deal with to get it. And that's what I would have told her as. Like, bitch, that's your problem. If they complaining to you about however they feeling towards me, that's up to you to deal with. Okay, however you deal with that, you deal with that. But don't sit up here and take your frustrations out on me. Don't make it my problem. That's what I would have told her if I was Scotty. But whatever, I still give her kudos, because the way she swung at Natalie ass and they tussled a little bit, it was I'd say she gave Natalie a good run for her money, because she did. She yoked her ass up and snatched the ass. So, you know, I'm not even mad at Scotty. Girl, go ahead. Get your, do your big one. Okay? Do your big one. And y'all noticed that when they pulled them apart, guess who grabbed Scotty? Lenny. Make sure you get your old lady. While he's standing up there with a fucking liquor cup in his hand, ready to see this showdown, because he already know how Scotty was feeling. I'm pretty damn sure he know what type of time Scotty was on when she came to that room. So it is what it is. But child, who? But yeah, child, if y'all watch the cliffhanger, it looks like Mariah is going to be the new turning point. Okay, she's going to be the new dislike motherfucker, because somehow whatever she has going on, that little sour taste that she had in her mouth for Rollie. So yeah, it's going to be, like I said, they are like a pack of fucking piranhas. Okay, they finna turn on each other and implode within each other's little group. Okay, that whole little friend circle. You already got Natalie and Scotty fighting. You already got motherfucking Nas, Mariah, and Rollie. Child. So yeah, that's that, y'all. What I'm mostly looking forward to though is that reunion, because I hear that reunion is gonna go down, and I can't wait to see this shit. I'm very interested, and I really want to know how many phases that ET finna have to run, because homegirl been getting herself into inserting herself into a middle of a lot of people's bullshit this season. Okay, that's the only thing I've been seeing from ET. So I'm really looking forward to this motherfucking reunion, and hopefully they don't break it down into like 50 parts. But yeah, child. So anyway, if you guys are new here, please hit the subscribe button. It's free. It's on your left hand side, right underneath the video information. Please hit the subscribe button. Also hit the like button. Do not forget to hit the notification bell so you guys know whenever I drop something new. And with that being said, I love you guys.